Hey guys, welcome to our channel codersarcade. In today's video, we are going to talk about preprocessor directives in C. So before starting this video, I would like to request you people to please like, share and subscribe to our channel codersarcade and press the bell icon so that you won't miss any future updates. So with this, let's continue our topic, which is preprocessor directive. So what do you mean by preprocessor? What do you mean by this word? Preprocessor is nothing but a program that preprocesses the source code. So this is our source code. Okay. So it preprocesses the source code before the source code is going to be compiled. So this is the compiler. Okay. So this is our source code. And before compilation, this preprocessor is going to preprocess the source code. Okay, so this is our preprocessor. Let's say this is our preprocessor. So first the source code will go to the compiler, and then this source code is first will preprocessed by this preprocessor here, and then again this code will go back to the compiler, and then now this source code that is already preprocessed will compile now. Here in this case, source code will not be compiled here, but after preprocessing only this source code will get compiled. Then this code will be in the final form of assembly level language code. Assembly level language code. So preprocessor is nothing but a program that is used to preprocess the source code before compiling that particular source code. So in this case, you can say preprocessor is nothing but the text substitution, or you can say text processing tool. So basically, preprocessor is nothing but the text substitution or text processing tool which is used to preprocess the source code before that source code is going to get compiled by the compiler. Now after it is compiled, it is converted into the assembly level language code. So some basic example of preprocessor are the very basic example. You always write hash include, this hash include stdio.h before starting our C program. So this hash include stdio.h, this hash include is nothing but the preprocessor directive in this code. So this is what we call a preprocessor directive. So with this line, our source code will be first preprocessed and then it will be compiled afterwards, and then it will be converted into assembly level language code. So now the points that you need to remember in preprocessor directives in C is that a preprocessor is not the part of compiler. It is not the part of the compiler, but it is not the part of the compiler, but it is the, first of all, it is not the part of the compiler, but it is the step in the compilation process. Got it? So it is not the part of the compiler, but it is the step in the compilation process. That is very important, because preprocessor first preprocesses the data, the source code, then it is gone to the compiler. Always preprocessor starts with a hash symbol right there. So hash include stdio.h. Now there are so many hash defined. We have hash include stdlib.h, hash include process.h, or hash include math.h. So there are so many preprocessor directives. So this is the basic structure, or this is the basic definition of preprocessor. Basically, it is a program that is used to preprocess the source code before that source code gets compiled by the compiler. It is nothing but the text substitution or the text processing tool, and it is not the part of the compiler, but it is one of the steps in the standard compilation process. Example for the preprocessor directive is hash include stdio.h. So in this case, hash include is the preprocessor, and preprocessor always starts with hash symbol. Now let us see different types of preprocessor directives. Actually, there are totally 11 or 12 preprocessor directives that are important, and you might be tackling those preprocessor directives many times. So let us see. Here I will write example. We have hash include, the most used one. Everyone knows about hash include. Then we have hash define. Then we have hash if. Then we have hash else. Then we have hash elif. Then we have hash if def. Then we have hash undef. We have hash endif. Then we have hash if and def. Then we have hash error. Then we have pragma, hash pragma. So these are the important types of preprocessor directives that you are going to see in C programming. So these are the main preprocessor directives right here. Got it? Now preprocessor directives are of three types. So basically they are of three types. What are the three types? The first one is macro substitution directive. Macro substitution directive is the first one, first type of preprocessor directive. And the second one is file inclusion directive, file inclusion directive. And the third one is the compiler control directive. So we have three types of preprocessor directives. The first one is the macro substitution directive. Then we have the file inclusion directive, and then we have the compiler control directive. So this is all about preprocessor directive as an introduction. Now let us see these three types of preprocessor directive. So basically I'll give you an idea what preprocessor directive is. As you can see here on the board, that preprocessor directive is nothing but a program that preprocesses your source code before it gets compiled by the compiler, and then it is going to convert into assembly language code. Preprocessor is nothing but the text substitution, or you can say text processing tool, that is used to preprocess the source code. Now the main points that you need to remember while preprocessor in this topic, preprocessor directives, is that it is not the part of a compiler. It is different from the compiler, but it is one of the steps in the compilation process in C language. Now the basic example for that is hash include std.h. Then these are the important preprocessor directives that you will be tackling when in this topic. So we have hash include, hash define, hash if, hash else, hash elif, hash if def, hash undef, hash endif, hash if and def, hash error, and hash pragma. So basically hash include is used to include the files, hash define is used to define the macros, hash if is used to test the compilation time, then hash else is just the alternative of hash if, then hash elif is just the combination of if and else, hash if and hash else in just one statement, so that is hash elif. Then hash if def is the starting of the conditional statement. Then this hash undef is the undefined, this is used to undefine the macro that is defined by this hash define. Then hash endif is used to end the conditional statement, the conditional the preprocessor. And then we have hash endif, and this is used for the again this is used for the conditional statement. Then hash error is used to print the error message, and hash pragma is as a special command in the compiler. And these are the three types of preprocessor directives that we are going to discuss in this video. again. So we have the macro substitution, then the file inclusion directive, and then the compiler control directive. So these are the three. Now let us discuss about these three types of preprocessor directive one by one. So let us talk about the first type of preprocessor directive, which is macro substitution directive. So what does this directive does? So macro substitution directive, what it does is it replaces every occurrence of identifier with predefined string. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by replace every occurrence of identifier with predefined string? So let me tell you. I'll explain you with the syntax. So the syntax here is hash define. To define a macro, we use hash define, then the identifier, and then the string or the predefined string. You can say that predefined string. So the syntax for this is this. So what is happening here? Hash define, we defined some identifier and we are using some predefined string that is going to replace this particular identifier. That means, let us see an example first. We have, let us say, I'm going to write here hash define. Let us say sum of x comma y will be replaced with x plus y. This is one of the examples. So now here what is happening, I have written hash define. So using hash define, I'm defining a macro, and this is the identifier. Sum x comma y is replaced by x plus y. So wherever in our program, down in the program, wherever there is sum of x comma y, that will be replaced with x plus y. Let us see this with an example, but before that I'll give you one more example. Let us see another example. Hash define, let us say I write SQR in capital and in bracket x. So this SQR, x will be replaced by x into x. Alright, so this is our first example and this is our second example. So now in this program, wherever SQR, capital SQR in bracket x will be there, that will be replaced with x into x. So we can use this to replace identifier with a predefined string. Now let us see and understand this logic with the help of an example program. So the example program. So first of all, we will start again with the hash include statement. So hash include stdio.h. Then I'm going to define a macro. So for that we have hash define, and let us take the first example. Sum of x comma y will be replaced with x plus y, right? X plus y. So there is one space here and one space here. Okay, now we will write our main function. So void main. Inside our main function, I am going to declare a variable called s, and using this s, I am going to do this, which is sum of, now instead of x comma y, I will give the values, which is, let us say 10 comma 20. So this is inside this s. All right. Now in next step, I am going to print it out. So printf sum is %d s. What does this means? And this is closed. We closed our program. So what we are doing here, what will be the output for this program? Can you tell? First, I am starting with my preprocessor directive hash include, and we included this file. Then we have defined a macro, so hash define, then sum of x comma y, and this will be replaced with x plus y. So in this case, in our main function, when I declared my first variable s, and then I use that variable in this formula, in this identifier that I'm using here. So sum of 10 comma 20, here sum of x comma y. So in this, value of x is 10 and value of y is 20. So this will be automatically replaced by x plus y. So we don't have to write here in this part of the program, we don't have to write 10 plus 20 or x plus 20, x plus y. We don't have to write this. This is okay for us. So we don't have to write this. We don't need this. Okay. This is just fine. And then I'm just directly printing sum is %d and directly printing this s. So my output will be, output for this program will be sum is, what will be the sum? The value of s will be 30. So this will be our output of this program. So using this macro, we don't have to write any formula. Just in this case, I've used this identifier as sum of x comma y. See, x comma y is 10 comma 20, and it is automatically replaced with this logic, but we are not writing this logic, so we don't have to write this logic anymore. We don't need this. All right, so there you go. This is the program for macro substitution directive, and this is our main point of focus. So this is our program, and this is our output. So this is what we call macro substitution directive. There we go. So I hope you have understood this. Now let's move on to the other one, which is file inclusion directive. So now let us talk about our next one, which is file inclusion directive. So what do you mean by file inclusion directive? As the name suggests, this directive is used to include files. So example for this is, we already know, hash include, we write stdio.h, right? So this is an example. So we are including the stdio.h file here. Now the main point to be remembered here in this file inclusion directive is, there are two types of files that you can include using this file inclusion directive. So there are two types of files that can be included. Okay, so what are the two types of files? The first, header file, you can say, we always say header file, or you can say standard file, the main header or the standard file, like the stdio.h, the process.h or math.h. The second one is user defined file. So let us discuss about these two again. So in this file inclusion directive, we have, it is used to include the files. For example, hash include, we are including this stdio.h. Now there are two types of files that can be included using this file inclusion directive, and the first one is the header or the standard file. Now this header or the standard file are the predefined files. These are the predefined files. What do we mean by predefined files? I'll tell you, but the second one is the user defined file. So user defined files means it is user defined. Again, it's user defined. So what all this header or the standard file contains? Predefined files means such as files such as stdio.h, we have this file, then we have math.h, then we have process.h, then we have stdlib.h. So many, there are so many. These are the header or the standard files. These are the predefined files, right? These are the header and the standard, the first one. Now the second one is the user defined files. So what are user defined files? So as you can see here, user defined files. So user defined files are nothing but like you can say when you have a very large program, when you have a very large program, suppose around 200 to 300 lines of code, good practice is that you should divide that program into small parts, and then you can include those parts into your this user defined files. So in this case, you can say the syntax for user defined, including user defined files is, you can write like #include, and after that #include, you can just write in double quotes your file name. There you go. So this is how you can include the user defined file. So your own file or any user defined files. So it can be any program file, it can be any type of file, but it should not be the predefined file. So predefined files such as these files, if it's a predefined files, then it is always written in arrow brackets, and if it's a user defined file, it is always written as double quotes like this, and inside that your file name will be present. So now let's see the different syntax for writing header files and user defined files. So including header files and user defined files. So generally the syntax for header file is, including header file is #include, and inside our arrow brackets your file name will be present. Here your file name will be present, but for the user defined, syntax will be #include. Instead of using arrow brackets, here in double quotes your file name will be present. So like this. So the syntax for including header files is #include in arrow brackets file name, and for user defined files, syntax for including user defined files is #include in double quotes you will write file name. So this is all about file inclusion directive. Now let us understand this topic with the help of a example program. So let us see an example program. Example program for file inclusion directive. So let us see. To include a basic file, we always start with #include. These are the header files, stdio.h. Okay, now #include stdio.h. Then I'll directly write my main function, void main. And inside my main function, I will just printf. Let's say codersarcade. Codersarcade. We are going to print codersarcade into our print statement, and then we'll close our program. We'll close our main function and we completed this program. So can you tell me what is the output for this? What is the output for this? Output will be codersarcade. So here in this case, we are including this file, stdio.h. What is this stdio.h? This stdio.h is nothing but standard input and output file. So standard input and output file, what this means is, this header file, this stdio.h contains keywords such as printf, scanf, and many more. So this stdio.h is the standard input and output file, and this file contains printf, scanf, and many more keywords. So in this case, if we don't include this stdio.h, this printf won't work and it will give us an error. This program won't execute without stdio.h. So there are different files. So this is the predefined, or you can say the standard header file that we included in our program. So this is the main reason That is why this is the main reason we include these kind of files. All right, to support these keywords and support different part of your program. Now there are so many files, so many types of files that you can include in a header file. As I have told you before, stdio.h is one, math.h is another, process.h is another, stdlib.h is another. So these are the various different files that you can use to include according to your program requirement. So these are the standard header files. All right, so with this we have completed our second type of preprocessor directive, which is file inclusion directive. So our main point of focus in this one is this hash include stdio.h. So hash include, this is our file inclusion directive right here. So hash include is the main file inclusion directive. Now let's move on to our next one and the final one, which is compiler control directive. So now let us see that. So now let's talk about compiler control directive. This is the third type of preprocessor directive that we have in C. And what is this used for? So basically, compiler control directive is used to select some particular part of a program and then compile it. You can use this directive to compile some specific part of a program, or you can skip the compilation of some specific part of a program according to your requirement of the program. So let us see the syntax for that, or first let us see the directives which are used in this compiler control directive. So directives such as hash if, all the conditional directives. So hash if, hash else, hash if def, hash if and def, hash undef, hash end if, all these kinds of directives are included into this compiler control directive. So let us see the syntax for this kind of directive. So I will use if def here. So hash, I will start my program by hash if def. Then here comes our macro name. So macro name. Inside our program, there will be many statements. Statement 1, then statement 2, then statement 3, and so on till statement n. And then we will end our program. So by using this end if, because we started if def and now we'll end it using end if directive. You will understand this kind of directive properly when I'll show you the program for this. So basically, compiler control directive is used to partially compile your program or select a particular part of a program. You can compile that part of a program, or you can select what part of your program you don't want to compile, and then you will proceed according to your program requirement. So in this case, we have all these directives for the compiler control directive, and this is the syntax for this compiler control directive program. Now let's jump directly into the example program and understand better about compiler control directive. So now let's see the example program for this compiler control directive. So as usual, I will start my program with hash include. What? You might know now, stdio.h. Then I will define a macro. So hash define. Let's say my macro name will be line. Okay, line, and I'll replace this with 1. You will get to know why I'm doing this. Now we'll create our main function, void main, and inside our main function I will start my hash if def line. What does this mean by if def line? We'll see. I am starting with if def line, and then if line means if now this macro will swap line with this one. So if 1, then printf the line is 1. Else, hash else. I'm using else hash else directive. Hash else printf the line is 2. Okay. Then I will just end it. So how I'll end it? Hash end if, and I'll close my main function. So here is the example program. Now let's dive a little bit deep and see what's happening here. So this is our hash include stdio.h. We are including this so that we can access printf function right here, and that this is very important. So it's the standard input output file. Then I've defined the macro. So line and 1. So line will be swapped. The line in this whole program will be swapped with 1. So in our main function, if def line means line will be swapped with 1. So here in this case, the value of line, this will not be there. I mean to say is, instead of line, just because we are using hash define line 1, instead of line, it will be swapped with 1, and then in printf, if it is 1, then it will say the line is 1. If it's not 1, then else printf the line is 2, and then end if. So what is happening here? Here, if def line values will be 1, so this line will be swapped with 1. So since it is 1, then output, what will be the output? Output of this program. What is the output of this program? Output of this program will be the line is 1. So the line is 1 will be printed into your terminal. Why this is printed? Because here in this case we swapped the line with 1. We swapped this identifier line with this predefined string which is 1, correct? So this will be printed, this will be executed, but this won't be compiled. This will be compiled, but this won't be compiled. Why? Because our condition is true in this case only. So it will skip the part and it will end the if def like that. And with this, this line is 1 will be printed here in this case. So with this, we have come to an end with our topic preprocessor directives in C programming. So we discussed about preprocessor directives. We discussed about what are the preprocessor directives. We discussed about how they work, what is a preprocessor directive, and what are the types of preprocessor directives. So there are 3 types of preprocessor directive. The first one is the macro substitution, and the second one is the file inclusion, and then the third one is the compiler control directive. So this is all about this video, guys. I hope you have understood this. If you have any doubts, please tell us in the comment section below, and we'll try to solve your doubts as quickly as possible. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel Coders Arcade, and press the bell icon so that you won't miss any future updates. And thanks for watching. This is Ashank David signing off. Happy learning.